of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all in that which is your need? To be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hero of all whom pleads. Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown? To worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne.
Oh, fat kid, you need some more practice driving, brother?
No, sir, I got the junction coming up. I want in the correct lane.
Don't you be messing around here now. You know? I hate to see this car crash and explode, and I walk through the fire, and people say...
That would be quite a video for
you know, they talk about Jesus walking on water, they be talking about I walked out of fire, you know? That's only a joke, people. You got some people, they take things so serious, they don't know how to joke, how to have fun, you know? And I even have people come to me sometimes, man, they expect me to be so serious, you know, so straight up and down, you know? And some people may even be shocked to see me on this camera with glasses, sunshades on, man. You know?
Teacher, in the case of the people of the book and all the other people, read about the prophets of old, the messengers of old, and they take them as being not human.
Right.
But, you know, they disconnect that these were, when they were here on earth, that they were people that were above the people in such a way that they couldn't even touch the hem of their garments. So
yeah. Well, that's the trick of the devil. See, the devil wants you to think that way, so when the messenger of Allah comes, you know, you won't recognize him. You know, and look how the devil separates you by the names of the Lord Most High. And the Lord said that it is of many names, of innumerable names. You know, and you got Muslims saying Allah only have 100 attributes, but you go into the Quran and you find at least 108 to 114 attributes clearly. You know. And but man has chose a certain amount of them and say, well, this is Allah's attributes, the 99 and Allah's, you know, the name of Allah is at 100 or whatever. You know, that's something that man had put together. Allah speaks the language of every creature. And with every creature, there's a name that Allah has with that creature. Just because you don't know the names don't mean they're non-existent. It's just like the attributes of Allah. Just because you don't know what it attributes to life. See, the attribute is that which is attributed. It's because you don't know what it attributes, you can't see what it attributes beyond human beings, don't mean it is non-existent. You know? And Allah is so merciful, it gives us in this realm of earth, this realm of the galaxy where we live, it gives us an order where it shows a configuration of things or a pattern of things, you know, which is relative. So it don't show us so much where we, you know, stay lost from it. It blesses us to find ways to, you know, to become of it, you know. Now, how many believers think that they can become of Allah, of Ahezaah, Amen, or Jehovah, or what have you, in this life, themselves, for real? You got a lot of people, man, I mean, so many people that think that it's only their ministers, their priests, you know, the so-called holy leaders of their religious orders is the only ones that can get near to the Lord. When the Lord sets down his words for each individual, each human being to get to it. And it says, as I've said in a past show, we are all a nation within ourselves. Each of us are a nation within ourselves. That's why the Lord says in the Quran, to kill a Muslim is as though you kill the whole nation. You know, because out of us comes a nation. You know, when will my genes pass on? You know, when will they die? You know, when will I become absolutely absent from this realm of life when there's no more offspring that comes from this tree that I can't, tree of life that I come from? You know, so there's a nation within me, a nation within my sons and daughters. You feel me? But what I call the people to do is to think for themselves. You must think, you know? You must think. If you don't think, if you don't take your time, trust what Allah say, study what you're told, and beg the Lord so that it will grant you information for yourself, then you are asking for trouble. You know? You got people that don't want the mass of people to study and read and become free because they need to keep their armies. You know? They need to keep their factions. But see, if everybody is free and everybody's right and everybody's together, you don't have to worry about no army and no factions, because whenever there's a problem, everybody that's right will come together and bring forth the solution to that, whatever that problem is, whatever the magnitude of that problem is, if everybody's right, you know. But you got so many people who wants to be other than what they are, you know, like people who should be a follower want to be leaders, and people who should be leaders want to be followers, and you know, it's like it's always some opposition that comes through the minds of man, you know.
Teacher.
Yes.
The question I have is, what would be behind that desire for someone to be other than what they're made to be? What would make a person?
That's the devil. That's each person's personal devil within. You know, a lot of people, you know, let's face it, they don't believe that they have a devil. They think that the devil lives outside of them. You know? They don't believe that they have their own devil inside of them. You know?
Yeah.
But every man has a devil. And I recall this story, the Hadithite story they told about Muhammad. Said that a man, you know, heard Muhammad say that, and he said, well, what about you? You say every man has a devil. He said, what about you? He said, yes, well, I have a devil too. But my devil serves Allah. You know? And I can relate to that, you know, because of my experience. You know, my devil was subdued, you know, and it serves Allah. And if that devil come out, it come out as a servant bowed to Allah to do its work, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I can right now, teacher, I can imagine an audience now trying to twist this notion of a devil bowed to subdue, try to twist this notion into something. Maybe we can get further clarification of what is meant for a devil. What service would a devil have in regards to Ahezaah?
Anger. If you need anger, it can promote that anger. You understand? In order for you to affect certain things in terms of going to war, you need that negative side of yourself to come up. See, you got to remember that the devil is on the negative side of you. You know? And if Allah was to take the essence of your negative side away, you will be imbalanced. I need balance. You need balance. Everybody needs balance. You feel me? So when you go to war, and that devil, which is not so much a doer of evil now, but one that manifests in evil for the cause of Allah, when you have to call it back, it's subservient to the Lord Most High, it comes back. And it stays in place. You understand where I'm coming from? So it has its uses, you know. Muhammad had to go to war, you know. How can you go to war if you tied up in high spirituality? You can't go to war like that. You have to settle down into some other form, into some other state to go to war. You feel me? So that's what that's like, you know. But again, I say the people have to you know, think for themselves. The brother said something one time. He said, you know, people talk about having common sense. He said, I don't want common sense. Common means that's what most of the people got. You know, he made sense with that. Is what most people got. That's common. And he don't want to be common because common ain't good when the world's going bad. You know. So if people use their higher senses, man, of reasoning, you know, they can see what I'm saying. But in order to really see what I'm saying, you got to submit to what I've submitted to. If you submit to yourself or something else to try to understand what I'm talking about, 9 times out of 10 you'll miss it. For the most part, you'll miss it. You need to surrender to what I'm calling you to, and I never call people to me. I call people to the Lord Most High. Now, if you can't accept me calling you to the Lord Most High, or if you think that I have no right to call you to the Lord Most High because you may think that because I'm not in your masjid or your mosque or your church, I can't possibly be calling you to wherever you at, or supposed to call yourself being, then alright, you got a problem. You know? Because even the devil can call you to the Lord Most High. The devil will call you to the Lord Most High to trick you. If you run into a devil, he'll play like he with the Lord. Come forth through men, come forth through your own self. And when he or she get what they want, then it's over. You know? Because it's all a game with them. A game of life, but it's a game. You know, so.
Teacher, that brings to mind the question back of the devil within. Now, yeah, you clearly point out the usefulness. The devil within has a place and a time and a purpose.
Yeah.
When you gotta do a work, when you gotta go to war, when it's time to go to war, when it's time to get something done where that's needed. But how is that kept in control so that that devil doesn't overtake you or lead you astray?
Okay, good question. Good, excellent question. First of all, when you come to a state that I'm at, Allah is the controller. Ahezaah, Amen. Whatever you want to call the Lord. You know, whatever name you respect to the highest. That's the one that controls those things in you. I don't even try to control myself. What I seek is for Allah, Ahezaah, to control me. I seek to give myself to Allah, like we talked about bearing witness to Allah. I bear witness to Allah and I surrender to Allah all the time, giving myself to Allah in every state that I'm in so that I don't become in opposition to Allah. If I find myself in a situation that I have problems with, where I think that something about me must be in opposition to wisdom, then I'm in opposition to the wise, which is the Creator Most High. You know? You have people who can't hear me because I don't call the Lord by the name they prefer. Now that's a foolishness, isn't it? That's a foolishness. What is a foolishness? Someone who's been fooled by someone or something to make them act indifferent. And so it's a foolishness that a person would close their eyes and close their mind because you're not calling the name of the Lord that they prefer. You know, I've spent many years, you know, perfecting how I speak to certain individuals if they're of a different faith. You understand? So that I can help them. Because I'm not trying to win companionship. You know, because, man, with companionship comes a lot of problems. I'm just doing my job to try to, you know, turn people to their souls, to the commandments of the Lord Most High, give this message that the Lord has given me, and so many messages that the Lord has given me to give to the people. But, you know, I want to create a show where we can sit down and actually teach the people more so than just talk about things that we've been talking about, you know, over the years, you know, because personally, I'm tired of these people out here in the world, like sending threats and saying different things and, you know, and being ignorant and foolish with their conversations, and then we got to get up and talk about them. I don't want to base our lives on them because the devil is being effective with them if we spend our time trying to defend ourselves against them. And the only reason that I've done this is by the command of Allah, is to give the people a chance to catch up with me. You see? Not so much that those rejectors of faith are so important, because I prefer not to deal with them. I'm not one who try to force the faith on you, because Allah said there's no compulsion, means there's no force in religion. And I don't want to put force on anyone to accept my way. I've turned away from my blood relatives for the mere fact that they don't want to accept this. I'm not going to force this on them. And then under the command of the Lord Most High, it says, be with those who believe as you believe. And being that they don't believe as I believe, I turn away from them for that too. Now, I've had, like, my sisters, they've said, I don't want to be a part of their family. That's not true. I want to be a part of my father's family, my mother's family. Very much so. But I can't be a part of wrong. I can't be a part of rejection. I can't be a part of people that's lost in the world and think that the highest thing in life is their material gains, their worldly gains. I can't be a part of that. That's a come down for me. And I'm not going to spend the rest of my life fighting to try to get them to understand that. You see, so I've left them in my relationship with them a long time ago. And I only come into their presence every so often when I'm called to come into their presence, But I don't try to live the life they live. I don't try to, stay so much connected with them in terms of having needs or sharing in an immediate sense, because they call me to the wrong things that's opposing to me. Now, I'm not condemning their lives. I'm just staying away from it. Because to each man is his way, to each woman is her way. And I believe in letting people have their way and leaving that with the Lord Most High, unless they come in direct conflict with me and try to force me into something other than my submission to the Lord Most High. Yeah, so it's something for us to, consider, man. But we really need to study on our own, and after you go to school, to bring yourself home to school. After you go to the masjid and you make your prayers, make your home an extension of your masjids and your temple and your churches. Don't just make that your place of worship. Make your homes an extension of that. You come and you contemplate on the things that you've heard and your prayers and what you saw, what you've seen. And you bring that home, and you contemplate, man, because there's nothing more important than the Lord Most High, the Creator. There's nothing more important than you coming into the submission to your soul, and your soul is with the Lord Most High. Your soul is that fixed part of your body, or that fixed part of your being that is with the Lord, that is not going to change. So you get right with that, you be right with the Lord. Our trip has been pretty good, man.
Teacher, would you like to make a stop at the Maryland house, or we just going up the road?
We can keep on pushing. If you want to stop at the Maryland house, it's all right,
I'll ride with you.
How much time we got, brother?
Yeah, about, let me see,
How much you got?
Talking about how much?
About 14 minutes.
About 14 minutes. Got brother Sajid holding down the camera. That's our camera, man.
Steady.
Yeah, I bet you I'm jumping all over the screen, because Mr. Fat Kid, the drive over here, is swinging his head, swinging his head. He has no concern about how the camera's going. All he's thinking about is getting past these cars, I guess. I don't know, but
I thought it was a smooth drive.
No, I thought you was a smooth driver. He ain't been behind the wheel in some time, and now he don't even know how to act, and I'm just checking him out. So if y'all, if they got me bumping and going back and forth, know that that's on Brother Fat Kid, the co-host of an A.H.A.D moment. But, I thank Ahezaah much, that y'all came on down with me,
No praise.
And, well, all three of us needed it. We all needed to, step away and, get a little airtime and cool out. You know what I mean? And, and I would get back and see what we're going to do. But I do want to create another show. And because I really do want to get away from just the conversation. I know that we have a great audience, a very powerful audience. And I want to thank everybody who has been supporting us and sending your gifts to us, because your gifts are well received. And I did, it just shows me that we have a lot of people with us, I remember we had the class in the office on Lyons Avenue, and I guess the signs that I had up was too much for the people, because it seemed as though, a lot of people was afraid to come in, or I know that there was a word in the Muslim community telling all the Muslims to stay away from us, and I know that word still exists, and I've heard some things just recently, but, people hurt themselves. They don't even, they don't even realize what damage they do to themselves. They listen to other people, and these people saying, stay away from them, stay away from them. And not one of them could ever say that they have witnessed me speaking against Allah or Muhammad or Jesus or Moses or Abraham or the Holy Quran or the Torah or the angel. None of them can say that. But they tell the people, make sure you stay away from him. Stay away from them A.H.A.D people. And all they doing is a disservice themselves, because they have to step up and meet with Allah. Like Allah said to me, on their death, they're gonna be questioned about me. Now, like I heard the brother laughing at the show when I was inside the cave. Yeah. He's probably, if he's checking this out, he's probably laughing at this, because see, people think, black people, African Americans, it's funny to them that I would say that I'm a prophet, I'm Allah's messenger. But I guarantee you, the jinn ain't laughing. The jinn is not laughing. And and the jinn is praying that y'all stay away from me. But everything is everything.
I guess, teacher, we'll discuss that on another show when we get an opportunity to have a teaching show featuring you and about the jinn and how much they really know. The reality of Ahezaah, the reality that when it sends its messengers forth is a very real thing.
Well, probably
common people don't know.
Probably we'll have that on an A.H.A.D moment. I want to try to create a show where it's basically teaching. Just like I taught you all had the classes and what have you. I'd like to have something where I can sit down, if that's the will of Allah, if Ahezaah wills that, because our brothers and sisters, especially amongst the Muslim community, they really need to know what I'm talking about. They spent years listening to these people that their leaders, their imams, tell them, not to listen to us, and following, people from another country, foreigners, because they want to worship them and say, well, we're not good enough to hold the book of Allah. We're not good enough to hold a covenant. What people was good enough to hold the covenant of Allah, if that's the case? Because every time Allah sends down His covenant, it always sends down to the most downtrodden people. It always sends down to the most needy people, the most trampled upon people. Muhammad's people was one of those people. The Hebrews was one of those people at those times. You understand? Now we're one of those people. So it only makes sense that Allah would send us a word. Now you got the people in Christianity always talk about the day of Revelation, talk about John, talk about Jesus come back, and so forth and so on. Now the day of Revelation is here, and okay, what we looking for? Since we so confused about Jesus, the confusion is there. They say he had hair like sheep, like lamb's wool, but Jesus, that they show you got hair like what, a monkey?
Chunky hair.
I'm not trying to be funny.
Yeah.
They got hair like a monkey.
Mm-hmm.
Not like a sheep. Now, those who had hair like sheep, they were like us.
Curly,
tight curls, tightly curled hair. I'm not talking about the curly-haired Jews who still, you know, because they got some Hebrew and Semitic in them, you know, black in them, you know, that Nubian in them, you know. But I'm talking about the dark-skinned people who got that real tight hair, you know. But the thing about it, man, you know, we don't like to go into race and what have you, but in order to get things right, you have to talk about what's right. You have to talk about, you know, like what really happened, you know. Just like, you know, you can go to an African-American Muslim today, man, and talk about Muhammad being dark-skinned, man, and they will not believe you. Although Allah says in the Holy Quran that he was the complexion of an olive. Huh? The complexion of an olive. And the olive is green or black. Now, here we go again with the Caucasian trying to confuse people about olive. We know that the Italians were mixed with the Moors. And you have some dark-skinned Italians. But they call Italians with dark hair olive. Huh? So he's olive. He got olive hair and this, that, and the other. But they telling you it's black. You understand? But the Muslims want to think that Muhammad was an Aryan, light-skinned, fair-skinned complexion individual when clearly the Holy Quran says he was of an olive complexion. You know? And is that important? Evidently it is important because Allah left it here for us. You know? And the people that's leading us astray, the people that our people is so inclined to bow down to are light-skinned, fair-skinned, so-called fair-skinned people. You know? And then they're teaching us against the way. They holding back, hiding things, telling us we can't learn this religion in our language, you know, and they doing some atrocious things to us, man. We might not consider it to be atrocious, but if they constantly turning you to the language, when do you get turned to the wisdom? If they constantly turning you to the physical practice, when do you get turned to the wisdom? And the wisdom is Allah's guidance. Allah's word. If they turn you away from the reality or the realization that Allah is to be acknowledged and perceived and recognized, realized in this state, in this physical plane, if they take that away from you, which they have, when do you learn to get to Allah? Our people so spooked out and spooky, we're afraid to go try to get to Allah, but Allah is here and present. You understand?
Yes.
They want to send you to fairies, they want to send you to angels, they want to send you to ghosts, they want you to call for your dead ancestors, they want you to do everything but call for Allah. You feel me? They don't want you calling for the Quran, they want you calling for Hadith. They mixing Hadith with Quran, putting it in the same binding and confusing it all. And I'm talking about you got billions of Muslims that's allowing this thing to happen. So who is it that we need to save us? We need Allah again. We need the Creator, the Lord, to come and straighten this thing out. And it has come down. You know? Now we've been promised as a people, African American people know that we've been promised because people always thought, even back in slavery, that we the chosen people and we waiting for that great day, you know, for the Lord to come. You know, now the Lord has come, how many people will, you know, today of the elders would turn and say, the Lord has come, the Lord must be with him. So when so many of them are brainwashed and taken off, you know, how can you, you know, at all get to the Lord and be right if you're helping to divide the religions? How can you find out or make straight what's been made crooked if you got your portion and they got their portion, they fighting one with another? Allah said the book of the Quran, the Holy Quran, is the criterion of that which came before it and that which is yet to come. Meaning that it is the book of judgment, it is the book of balance, it is the book that tells you what's right and what's wrong, that guides you or give you an instruction, an example about what's right and what's wrong. It's a book that tests things about the divine scriptures. All that came before it and all that came behind it. Now if Allah said that in the Holy Quran, then evidently that was meant for you to examine that which came before it and that which was to come behind it. But our people let the enemies of truth come and divide the religions And one of the first things they did was they changed the word in the Quran about that is the book, pointing to the Torah and other books, you know, the book in paradise or in heaven, and said that is the book, in it there is no doubt, you know. And they turned it to this is the book. So when they say this is the book, that makes you look just at the Quran. So forget about it being a criterion of anything else. If this is the book and in it there's no doubt and it's perfect, is all that you need, then there's no need for you to look anywhere else, right? Mm-hmm. And then they turn, and the latter part of the book, in chapter 113, I think it is 112 in Unity, it say He is Allah instead of you and Allah is one. You know, so they have effectively turned you away from Allah being of the truth before the book that is sent down, the books is sent down before, and at the same time they disconnect you from the Lord itself, Hu or Yahuwah or Huwa or whatever, and Allah, which Muhammad recognized that the Lord of Moses and Abraham was the same as his Lord, Allah, even though they called him by different names, you know. So my brother is showing me on the camera that I have nothing but 30 seconds, and I'm going to say, may Ahezaah's peace and blessings be within about your presence. And you got the numbers for, you know, like the post office box 8795, Newark, New Jersey, 07103.
Who of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed?